Good morning. It is Sunday, March 26th, and we're on trail, back at it, North Country Trail, pursuing them 100 miles. So if this looks familiar, yeah, it's the same place we were last week, but this time I'm going this way. Last week we went the other way. All right, turning out to be quite the nice day, quite the change from yesterday. Yesterday we had rain, winds up to 50 miles an hour. At my house we were without power for 6.5 hours, and I have friends that live like 8, 9, 10 miles away from me that their power went out yesterday morning and they're still in the dark. So yeah, I guess we got off lucky this time. All right, as usual, I did not do my homework before I started, so I don't know what mile I'm at, but I'm in Brandon. I'm at about river mile, I think 113.5. There's a marker down here, and my plan is to hopefully go the whole way to and through the Kennerdale Tunnel, which I'm guessing is somewhere around 3 or so one way, 3.5 maybe. But we will be going through the infamous Sunny Slope Trail break. So when we get there, I'll explain that to you, tell you what it's all about, and show you how to navigate it. Man, it's a nice day. I wasn't quite sure how to dress. I brought my fleece puffy jacket, but once I got here I decided not to wear it. We'll see how that works out. Okay, let's do this. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't do my homework, but I think I should be close to about 70 miles for the year by the time we finish this. I'll let you know. I used to think those signs meant 113 river miles from the Golden Triangle, but some people tell me otherwise, so interpret them however you like. Some say it's rail miles, but there's so many mile markers on this trail. Like this one is, you're 10.5 from Franklin. I just use my GPS to keep track of how far I go. It's probably the easiest way. All right, I hope this video is coming out all right, because my photo gray sunglasses are so dark right now I can't see anything. What a problem to have, huh? All right, after 1.25 miles, we're finally coming to the end of the village of Brandon. Might get out of the sun too once I go around this curve. And there is another verification that I am indeed on the North Country Trail. All right. Met 2 people out on their morning walk. Beautiful day for it. But we're gonna keep on going. Oh yeah, I already had one do-over too, because after that little introduction I realized I never turned my GPS on to track my miles, so I had to backtrack. Yeah, had to backtrack, turn my GPS on. Gotta keep track. Okay, let's keep going. All right, we're at mile 111, and very directly here. We'll be coming up on part of what I came down here for, to show you the Sunny Slope break. So once we get up here a little ways, I'll turn it back on and go into the explanation. We're at trail mile 12.5, and we've gone just a little over 2 from where we started. And obviously, this is how the railroad grade used to go. But for whatever reason, and I have my theories, which I'll share with you, the trail goes this way, as evidenced by this sign. It didn't used to be nearly well this marked, but it is now. So we're going this way. And this takes you up through a little residential river community called Sunny Slopes. And of course the railroad grade used to go back there where I showed you. But for whatever reason, and I believe it's because when the deed was written to the railroad in the early 1900s, it was probably written that this area here would revert back to the original landowners if the railroad was ever abandoned. Whether or not they ever speculated, 120 some years ago that the railroad would no longer exist, who knows, but some landowners down there opted to take that option, and their property now goes across where the rail bed was. But through a deal worked out between the Allegheny Valley Trails Association and all the landowners up here, you can get around that by taking what is known as North Kent Road. And North Kent Road winds up over the hill that way and continues down here to the houses. Now, one thing I will say is, if you come down through here, don't feel like you're trespassing. Don't feel like you're encroaching on property, because the deal was worked out between the landowners and the Bike Trail Association. But by the same token, get through here. Don't be nosy. Don't be, stopping to admire houses too much or peeking in people's windows or whatever. But I will say the people down here are more than cordial. I mean, if you see somebody out in their yard, don't treat them like a statue. Acknowledge them. Maybe thank them for allowing the trail to come through here, because it's essential that for the life of this trail that this agreement is maintained. So, boy, there's a couple dogs I'm glad aren't outside. All right, so we're on North Kent Road and or the bike trail. There's the river, and if you squint a little bit, you can see how the railroad grade used to go. All right, once we get up here a little closer to the houses, I'll show you a little more. There's a North Country Trail blaze just to verify that we're going the right way. I'll tell you a little story about this place though. One time, it's probably 10 years or more back, I was coming down through here on my bicycle on a Sunday morning, and there was a lady outside the house cooking breakfast on a gas grill, making bacon and eggs to make like Egg McMuffin sandwiches. You could smell it from, I mean, yards back. It was just, you know, it's like being in a campground or something. I went by, I remarked about, you know, the smell and how good it smelled. Well, long story short, I ended up getting a free breakfast out of the deal. I mean, the lady was just more than cordial to me. Just absolutely fabulous. I mean, got coffee, got an Egg McMuffin. It was great. What more could you ask for on a Sunday morning when you've ridden a bike for like 12 miles? That's something I'll never forget. And you know, if you come down through here, who knows, you may experience the same. Who's to say? Okay, we got a ways to go. Hey, there's one for sale if you think you want to be one of the friendly people that live down here. Area code 352-308-7960, I think it reads. Obviously not too local. I don't know where area code 352 is. For all I know, with all the cell phone numbers, it could be local. I don't know. Not a bad looking place. Could use a little TLC, but looks pretty solid. It's been a pretty good length of time since I've been down here, and obviously this has been improved quite a bit since the last time I was here, because this used to go to like single track about right here, and there was no way you were riding a bike through it. You had to push, which was no big deal. But now, I think even on a road bike you could probably ride this, because very shortly here we'll be coming back down to the paved part of the trail again. Wow, this is nice. Hey, you got a water filter? If you got a Sawyer or something, right now there's certainly no shortage of water down here anywhere. All right. All right, once again, we're at the other end, and it gets a little tricky down here. Follow the signs, be considerate, follow the bike trail signs, don't cut through there, go behind the fence, respect the people. Okay, I just checked my odometer and we're at 3.08. So whatever I said it was when we first started Sunny Slopes, I'm thinking it's, you know, without going back and doing the math, it's like 5/8 of a mile, something like that. And if you're coming from the other way, this is what you're going to encounter. Okay, on a bicycle, when you're coming this way, it's not very long before you get to the tunnel. When you're walking, I don't know, I'll let you know when I get there. But I can see, I'm sure you can't see up through there, but there's an electric line right away that goes up the hill, and that's right at the end of the tunnel. I can see it from here. Looks to be about, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile. I'm gonna go through the tunnel, then I'm turning around and going back. never really had a good spot to show you upriver until now, but this is looking back the way we came. We're looking upstream. And another thing I haven't mentioned is right across the river from where we've been practically since the whole time is the Kennerdale tract of the Clear Creek State Forest, which is like, to me, it's like prime outdoorsy. There's a trail system over there, and it's real popular with mountain bikers and hikers. Originally it was intended to be a state park, but when the recession hit in the 80s, that plan was tabled, and frankly I'm kind of glad it was, because I like it just the way it is. It's a beautiful area. Check it out. It was supposed to be Allegheny Gorge State Park, even though I wouldn't exactly call this a gorge, but it is now called the Kennerdale tract of the Clear Creek State Forest. So check that out online. This is one of the new mile markers. We're 14 miles from Franklin, and we are getting real close to the Kennerdale Tunnel. I'll never forget one time I was down here with my son when he was, I don't know, maybe 10 or so, and we came to this little bridge over this waterway here, and he pointed to that stone arch and said, "See that rock clear up at the top? That's the Keystone." Like, yeah man, you're right, that's the Keystone. I was pretty impressed that as young as he was, he knew that. I wish I knew who owned this, because I'd like to park here if I could. I won't do it without permission though. I did it one time many years ago without permission, but I'm not that bold anymore. There's the blaze. There's the tunnel. One time when I was very young, my dad belonged to a Jeep club, and we came down here and went up that road, and without using a expletive, at my young age, I was scared. All right, sorry the sun's on our eyes, but here we are at the north end of the Kennerdale Tunnel. We're 3.87 miles from where we started. And as soon as I get through here, this is where I'm turning around. Now, this tunnel is about 3/4 of a mile long, and it has a more gradual curve than the Rockland Tunnel does. So there's a pretty good stretch here in the middle where it's completely dark. There's mile 109 right at the entrance. Okay, I'm going to record in here with some with the lights off, some with the lights on. Let you get the full effect. All right, we're about halfway through. It's getting dark. I can still see the reflectors on the pavement a little bit, but I'm having a little trouble telling which ones are the middle and which ones are the edges. So if I fall off the edge, I won't edit it out, but I'm not responsible for what I may say. Well, I think I see a little glimpse of light up there. Possibly my imagination. Just met a guy on a bicycle. Whoa, that's the edge. Just met a guy on a bicycle. I think he was afraid to pass me. He sure took his sweet time. He acknowledged me. The voice sounded familiar, but of course it's dark in here. I couldn't tell who it was. All right. Before you witness me breaking my neck, I'm going to cut out for a minute. All right, we're in the home stretch now. We'll get out of here, check my GPS, let it catch up, see how many miles I went. I'm thinking it should be about 4.1. I might go a little farther just to make it even. No, I won't. All right, what'd you think of that? Yeah, pretty cool, huh? All right, some people call water coming off a hill a waterfall. I call it water coming off a hill, but this may qualify as a waterfall. You think so? I think so. Okay, I'm gonna check my GPS, see how far I went. I'll be back in a second. Well, right now it isn't a wildflower patch. Okay, GPS said I went 4.62. Is that what I went? I don't know. I'll put it in the video description. But I should have like a little over 8 by the time I get back to the Jeep. So if anything exciting happens on the way back, I'll bring it to you. Otherwise, no, I'm sure I'll be back. Let's take another look at this waterfall. All right, almost back through the tunnel. I did worse coming this way than I did the other way. This way you can see more light. I fell off the edge of the trail 3 times. I think I only fell off once on the way through. Meeting lots of bikes down here though. Let's see, I met 3 going the other way and 2 on the way back this way. Okay, should be about 4 miles back to the Jeep, something like that. A little farther than I intended to go, but I want to get these miles out, and it's a beautiful day. I'm back to the south end of Sunny Slopes. So that means I'm about a third of the way back. Let's see. Got about probably 2 3/4 or 3 miles to go. Making good time. Bye. All right, we made her through Sunny Slopes. We're in the home stretch now. What do we got, like 2 to go, something like that? 2 to go. Let's see, I met, coming through there, I was passed by 2 bicycles. Saw some guys tearing down a shed, real friendly, waved at me. Met a guy in a car, same thing, very nice, waved to me. I'm telling you, there ain't no more friendly people on this trail than the ones in Sunny Slopes. Really nice. Okay, what did I say we got to go? 2 or something like that. Yep, nice day. My allergies are killing me. But it's better than sitting on the couch, I guess. No filter? No problem. Yeah, I'm gonna have some more. I'm back in the village of Brandon. Probably a mile to go. Okay, 9 and probably 1/4 miles later, I'm in the home stretch. Can you see my Jeep up there? I can. All right, looks like we made it. All right, that's a done deal. You know, I debated today whether to come down here or go finish that section between like Shippenville and Chippenville, but I figured it would be less muddy down here today after all that rain we had yesterday. So yeah, that should be about 9 1/4 miles, I guess. I'll figure it out when I get home. But yeah, coming to you from the North Country Trail. Why don't you take a hike? Hey, we'll see you later.